Good morning and welcome to today's Cornerstone Chat.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Angela Smith, the Executive Director of Cornerstone Community Development Corporation. Thank you for joining us today for the fourth of a series of discussions as part of Cornerstone's Healing Illinois program. Healing Illinois is a state-funded program which strives to address racial inequality and social unrest in meaningful ways. Healing Illinois' goals are to promote dialogue by facilitating conversations that build connections and understanding regarding race equity. Also, to encourage collaboration by connecting and engaging in racial healing activities, and to facilitate learning about this crucial topic. Today's topic is manifesting racial healing through creative paths to eradicating racism. Thanks to Coco Elysses and Pilar Audet for being panelists today. I now turn the discussion over to today's moderator, Ms. Yvonne Orr.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. We'll hear from you a little bit later about some more of our events and closing remarks. Talk to you soon. Ladies, good morning. Good morning. How are you all today?
Wonderful.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Excellent.
I'm
morning.
in space with two very powerful women, so I'm great.
Well, thank you. Thank you. We're here to discuss how we manifest racial healing through creative arts, and happy to share with the audience and viewers that we all share kinship, a sisterhood, and a friendship. So I am so blessed and grateful to have such dynamic women join me today. And I would like for each of you to share a little bit with the audience about who you are and what you do. And we'll start with Pilar, if you don't mind, Madam Pilar.
I would be most honored. First and foremost, I just want to say thanks for having me here. And just in keeping with custom, I'd like to first just give thanks and honor to the land in which we all occupy. I want to just give thanks and honor to the original inhabitants of this land, the Council of Three Fires, the Chippewa, the Potawatomi, the Ottawa Native Americans. I just want to I always have to give that acknowledgement and just give that blessing. So thank you. My name is Pilar Audet. I'm a very proud first generation Trinidadian Chicagoan. I am a spiritualist who truly enjoys life. I am a former infectious disease epidemiologist for the city of Chicago.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, infectious disease epidemiologist. You know, I thought it was all of that, but you know, life taught me some things. From there, I transformed into an entrepreneurial prowess, and so I had the pleasure of opening up a boutique where I was able to really practice my craft of just healing the community and creating with my hands and heart. And from there, I started my not-for-profit, the Wrap Your Beauty Movement, which has birthed Gala Day and an event called She Through Me, where women come together and we really honor and embody our ancestors, our feminine ancestors. And today, I currently hold the position as Associate Director for Truth, Racial Healing, and Transformation, a program founded by the Kellogg Foundation. We are now housed with the Chicago Community Trust. Giving a big shout out to my brother and co-conspirator, Jose Rico, who are Chile. Yes. So I'm just happy to be here and share with you sisters today.
Thank you. And Coco, share with us a little bit about yourself and what you're up to.
My name is Coco Elysses. I am a doula. I am a musician. I am a screenwriter, poet, and I am an actress. I have worn many hats over the years, working in the community, working in not-for-profit sector as an HIV/AIDS educator, And I spent a lot of time over at the CDC. And I think me and Pilar missed each other during my transition out of that world and into other worlds.
Yep.
Works and that was kind of like my segue into working as a doula. I did have a home birth, and through that experience brought me into the awareness of the world of birth workers, and am a 21-year veteran doula, and was a I'm sorry, someone said something?
No,
Oh,
we're just listening actively.
oh, okay. It is part of my one of my ministries. I have several ministries. Everything that I do, I consider it a ministry. And through working as a doula, birth worker, I also am now officially a end of life doula. Actually was born into that and didn't realize that that was part of another one of my ministries. And my first experience was I felt a desire that I had to just go with my mother. She said she had to go to a funeral. She explained to me what it was, and I knew that she shouldn't be there alone. So as I was sitting there on the pew, having no idea who the folk were, and just crying because I felt inside of me, it was my first experience of being an empath. And that's a whole nother thing. I don't want to get into that, the details of that, because there's like probably 17 to 18, maybe 21 different modes and expressions of being an empath. But that particular moment, I felt the pain of the family members. And my mother looked over me and said, "Why are you crying so hard, baby? You don't know none of these people." I said, "But somebody died. Somebody lost. Somebody died." And so as I grew up, I learned how my mother's mother, who I never got an opportunity to meet in the flesh, was one of those individuals during the time of tuberculosis who were putting on masks with turpentine and going in and cleaning and cooking for those who were sick when no one else would. And so as a child, I just kept going to funerals and going to funerals, going to funerals. And then as I got older, and friends and sisters were, parents were
Transitioning.
being there for them. And it's a beautiful thing and a blessing and an honor to be
Yes.
there when a ancestor comes and when an ancestor is going back. And
Yes.
I just have fully embraced that, and embraced that in a way that I never have until now, like really truly owning it unapologetically.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. I will share with everyone, my name is Yvonne M. Orr. I am the daughter of two wonderful ancestral revolutionaries now. My mother was a former high-ranking officer of the Illinois Black Panther Party, and my father was a member of the MOVE organization and infamously of the MOVE 9, and a political prisoner of 42 years. And so we're here collectively as women standing in our power, women operating on a spiritual path, to come together to really talk about what racial healing means to us and how we collectively as creative artists express ourselves and deal with the anger that comes along with the isms that we all have experienced as Indigenous people. I myself am a spoken word artist and a published author as well, and formerly a professional dancer. And so we all collectively have all of these tentacles, I will say, these branches of our lives that help to fuel our fire. So I'm going to jump right in. I want to know from both of you as African American women, we are charged with having to be strong, right? We have to be this banner and beacon for the community. But I'd be interested to know about some incidents of discrimination that you experienced and how you both got over it.
Define discrimination from whom?
That discrimination is wide and vast, and so it's whatever form you want to discuss, whether it be from another ethnic party whether it was both racial discrimination and gender discrimination, whatever that felt like for you in whatever form, because I know both of you have had multiple incidents. Just share with us one, and particularly, how did you get over it?
Who wants to go first? You want to go first, Pilar?
You go ahead. You can go ahead.
Well, I will go within, and then I will go without, because I think oftentimes we have heard so many times how we deal with it when it comes from people outside of our culture. But I think the most difficult is dealing with it within the culture, because the expectation of a knowingness, of a camaraderie, of a bond that we should have, whether it's men and women or both. And I think that one is the one that I want to express. Oftentimes when we are in a place of a revolution, whether it's internal or external, we're going through internal, external, cultural, all kinds of revolutions right now, is to explain to someone within your culture that you are being discriminatory, either through sexism, misogyny, of all those different things, is to explain it. And I explain it from a standpoint of colonization. Like, sometimes the language is even the same. And when you reflect it back and explain it without taking it personal, I think it's so easy to take discrimination personal, because it is personal if you are experiencing it. But if you kind of step outside, and you're a mediator, right? You're teaching, you're healing. Healing is educate. All of these different components of healing is not just kumbaya, somebody sitting and doing energy work. And I do that too. And I'm not making light of that. But there's an aspect of it that comes from conversation, and it comes from the intonation, the inflections in your voice. And when you reflect to somebody and show them alongside the colonizers' language, ways in which they have oppressed and suppressed us, I think that is a huge teachable moment. It's a spiritual moment, and it can't be forgotten. And that's one way that I use to show. That way it sits. My voice is at a place, at a timbre, and I'm using things that are that individuals are familiar with, so that they can see on their own way, in their own time, how they have taken and internalized the colonizers' way of suppressing and oppressing us, and we have internalized that and used it against our own people.
Got it. Pilar.
Ashe. Thanks for that question. I thought long and hard. I was thinking long and hard, because there have been so many aspects of discrimination I've experienced in my life. But the one that stands out the most as a Black woman, I would say, is being a Black woman in a male-dominated scientific society. So as a woman who was very good in math from young, who kind of worked her way up through these male-dominant, predominantly white and Asian classes, through calculus, through differential equations, I was blessed. When I went to Daly College, my ancestors were really looking out for me, and they really were covering me like Kirikou. Shout out to all the Kirikou fans out there. Yeah. And my calculus professor, I'll never forget, his name was Dr. Wilson. He was a member of the Auxerre-Auxet Society. And so he, and I remember in the building, there were all of these pictures of white scientists. And so he took me under his wing. He was so happy to find a little Black girl that was so good in math. And so he took me under his wing, and for every day after school, we would spend time in the class, and he taught me differential equations and calculus from an Egyptology vantage point. So he taught me that all of that on the wall was wrong, that we were the original scientists. And on through, I don't know what I would have done without that level of leadership, because the discrimination that I've received, it's something about walking into a town hall forum and you're the lead epidemiologist who's going to present stats, and you have a straw hat and flip-flops, or your skin is Black, or you look like you from 79th Street, whatever that means. means, which I am a proud descendant of. I've had to really fight my way to prove that, number one, you'd be surprised how many white people I've encountered that don't believe that Black people are scientists when we're the original scientists. You'd be surprised at the commentary that I've heard and that I received. People shocked, like, "Oh, are you or this?" And and so it's been a journey having to stand my own. And so the way that, I'll just say in short, the way that I've been able to counteract that is studying my history, and understanding that Black people, the Africans of the diaspora, we are the original scientists and mathematicians, and I stand in that proudly.
I think one of the things that perplexes me, it's not lost on me that today we're starting the actual trial of the officer that, in my personal opinion, murdered George Floyd. We're in the post hashtag George Floyd mania, right? And we've had this mania ongoing of, unfortunately, other Black and brown Americans losing their lives to police brutality. How does your art expression, navigate your way through what we experience as Black and brown people? How do you get it out?
You create, you make, you speak to those things that are painful. You create. For me, it doesn't take much. It just takes me just whatever it is that I'm going to create, whether it's jewelry, whether it's a poem, whether it's a song, whether it's a composition, you just make it. And when you feel that desire to express how it makes you feel, whether it's anger, whether it's deep hurt, pain, whether it's resentment, you make art. You can make art anytime. I really don't believe in creative blocks. We block ourselves. You can create masterpieces in pain and in joy. And
masterpieces in pain. Okay.
I
have written some of the most bomb poems.
Yes.
Yes.
Woo!
And like, ooh, gotta get it out. And you get to, you're like, what? That came out of that? That's the lemonade. That's the lemons and pouring in the sugar. Let me make some lemonade out of this. I got lemons and water. Okay, let me do this. Let me do that. Let me create a dish out of what I have. We are masterful and going in the kitchen and making some masterpieces out of about 3 or 4 ingredients. So I feel like when we have that and we throw that together and it's seated in authenticity, nothing but greatness can come from that. And when that greatness isn't coming from ego, it's coming from, this was an authentic expression of what I felt, what I experienced. So you own that this is a creation that is pure and true and honest. And that's what I call mastery, is owning the true expression of that particular creation in every aspect of it, and all of its curves and its angles and its this, and really not caring what it looks like, because knowing that it's going to have an impact on the public. It's going to have an impact on those who experience it, who read it, who hear it. It's going to touch it because it came from a true, honest place.
I'm looking at both of your backgrounds, and we're all kind of zoomed out, virtual out, whatever, but these type of opportunities, I am on it. And I had a brief moment, even when we joined, where I'm thinking like, their spaces are so lively and just interesting and intricate, and I want that. And then just realizing I have it, the intricacies of just the naturalness of the brick wall, and my grandmother's fan from Japan in 1939, and the adornment. So, Pilar, I'm interested in this adornment that we see. I know, because I know you, it's more than just like the physical, but please share with us how your space creates that healing space for you spiritually.
Well, I believe in the power of the spaces that we occupy. And so, leading a life of meditation and thought and silence, it's important that my home environment just really reflect that. It's kind of like my bat cave. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I go out in the world and have to come back here and recharge. So, plants, lighting, my salt lamps. I have a fountain in here. Where's Buddha? Hey, Buddha. My
Hey,
Buddha
Buddha.
baby, who's always there. And so visuals. I'm very big on visuals. I love, my room is like it's a vision board, basically, because everything that I'm looking at, I have words, I have affirmations, and all the things that I need, and they change out weekly. I switch my plants around, I switch things around, I hang new curtains, put new candles that have sayings on them, and this is where we recharge. It's so important. This is where I find that quiet moment where I can connect with spirit and all that is in me. I allow my history a lot to dictate what I have around me creatively. I said before, I'm a Trinidadian woman. And so we are Carib people who are descendants of the Arawak Indians, and so in the Lower Antilles. And so one of the things that I love to do is sit here in my silence. I have this hanging on the wall. It's a wall ornament, or I can play it. I would like to also say that Coco Elysses is my drum teacher, my master teacher. Master teacher with the conga. I sat at my grandmother's feet, who shared with me our history. My great-great-grandfather was a Cuban man who married an African woman, right? And so the conga is I've been having dreams about it, and I want to say my sister Coco, she heeded the call to become my teacher. So I have a beautiful set of drums that accentuate my room. So my point is just that everything here, everything around that I could put my hands and eyes on is a part of me, who I am, and it's constantly feeding me. Coco also taught me something that was really important. Sometimes after a lesson, I wouldn't physically practice, but because I didn't have time, but because I had these drums sitting here and I'm thinking on them and I'm visualizing them. And when I'm meditating and look to the left, I observe their beauty. Something in that was feeding me. So next time I go to class, I'm playing crazy. And she's like, boo, you've been practicing. And I'm like,
Yeah.
in my mind. And so it's just a very powerful thing to just make sure that your space reflects all that you are and all that you want to be.
It's sometimes hard, when people don't see themselves as creatives or artists. Coco, I know that you have a workbook that I myself have benefited from, the multi-genre artist. How does the everyday person navigate, the world of negativity and draw out their creativity, if you will? Can you walk us through at least one exercise, master teacher, on how to draw out the creative genius within?
Well, first of all, thank you for these huge, I'm dropping my head because I'm going into my little shell, and
her humility. She's humble, y'all.
Pilar is my first official percussion student, and I wanted to wait. I wanted to wait for I'm going to answer your question, Yvonne, but I want to go back to something that she said. I wanted to wait for the right time, when I was in the right space, and with the right student. And a student, meaning, I think we're all teachers and students at the same time. It's like, if you're thinking that you are bringing all the jewels to the table as an
You're not.
no, because the way that you learn to be a quote unquote master teacher is by mastering the art of learning from your students. And so Lar has a very beautiful mind, and Yvonne as well, that works in different ways, has different kind of wiring. So I am allowed the amazing opportunity to work with amazing artists, to be friends with them, to be sisters with them, and see how their brains work, which teaches me how to educate, how to explore, because this is part of healing and decolonizing and healing in this particular climate. So the multi-genre art activity tool workbook. is that embracing that fingerprint, that individual you, how you learn, what you need. And it has a lot of room for play, because in our colonization over the years, the Kali Yuga, the era of the patriarch, which is probably not going to be finished, and it'll be some little relics until 2025. But as we end this era of the patriarch is dying and we're coming into balance and the matriarch is coming back into light, is that we have to embrace who we are. What does that mean? What made you feel energy as a child? What made you express? Like if you go back to a kindergarten, and I'm all over the place, you go back to a kindergarten classroom, there was stimulation all over. The walls taught, books taught. It was colors and things like that. And we have stripped, as we get older, if you look in classrooms, teachers will strip away all colors, strip away this, strip away that, and then walls become black and white, and then all the creativity has just kind of seeped out, and you try to get it back. So one thing that I do is approach, what is it that you want to do? What is it that you want? How are you inspired? And you put that into play. I just give you a roadmap on how to map out your day, from the time to who it is that you use to inspire you, to what you say to yourself. But you begin the process. If I were to give one gem of this tool that's available on my Instagram account, is the first thing that you do is you dissolve your ego. Because your ego is victimization, and your ego is also grandiosity. So when you dismantle and say, I dissolve my ego, you empty yourself of every preconceived notions and future things, and you come right into alignment with the now. Then you say your affirmation of what it is that you want to do during this process of creativity, whether it's writing, whether it's making jewelry, whether it's practicing your instrument, or whether it's listening to music, whether it's looking at a film from a cinematic standpoint to see how the cinematographer did things, to hear the sound, to see the development of the story, that you are in a space where you're able to bring things in and keep them there, and to grow and to flourish.
Thank you.
Way around the block.
That was nice. That was nice. Thank you. We're still in the middle of our pandemic pivot. We are in one of the largest uprisings since the civil rights movement, led also by young people, riots, social unrest. What do we say to our children? What do we say to ourselves? What do we say to our elders, so that we can collectively have these hard conversations and connect intergenerationally? How do we make this happen?
With our young people, we lead by example. And I say that emphatically. We be the solution. We elders, as their parents, as their teachers, as their leaders, we have a responsibility to show them, to guide them, to lead them, to live by example. We are not perfect beings, but God dog it. It is our responsibility to show them and teach them where it is that they should go and how it is that they should be, and allow them the latitude to be able to embody that in their own special, beautiful ways. And what we tell ourselves is that just do it, that we cannot afford to slack. Black excellence hashtag is one thing I'm constantly spewing. Like, we have to do our best. That's one of the 4 agreements. Always do your best. It's one of the things I'm always teaching my students. We have to make up our minds to be our ancestors' wildest dreams. When it comes to our elders, we also have to humble ourselves. There's such a big gap between my generation, the younger people, my generation, and my elders, but I am unapologetic about creating, fostering, and maintaining relationships with my elders. They are a wealth of information, and I stand on their shoulders, and they've seen things that I couldn't possibly see yet because of my age, just like their experiences that I have, that my children and their peers couldn't possibly know, just because they haven't had the years to truly experience these things. So what I say to my generation all the time is unapologetically humble ourselves, remove the ego, as Coco was saying, and foster these relationships with our elders. These are like jewels that are going to slip through our fingers. I want to know, I want to know everything. I want to know the history, what they felt in their bodies during certain times in history. I want to know how they feel about things. I want them to just share their perspectives at all times. And I have some community mothers, one of which Dr. Carol Adams, I want to give a shout out to, because this sister, this queen, out the gate has always supported the things that I do in word and in deed. And I appreciate that. Masakwa Myers over at the Southside Art Center has allowed me to utilize her space for different events. And there's just a plethora of sisters out here. Dee Alexander is one that I also love. And there's just so many. And so I just want to say that it's really important that we understand the seriousness of the times.
Yeah, it's with you uplifting other women. We're in the age of reality TV is, king or queen, so to speak. When you see played out in social media, on television, that the more quote unquote ratchet you are, or the more you lash out against someone that has said something that offends you, how do we contend against that, to be able to broach hard conversations? How do we just not lash out? I know sometimes there have been an occasion where I have, physically wanted to harm someone. It has not come to pass. And I don't quite know how to get past that, but I know that, we have these images in our face constantly. What are some techniques that we can do, or how do we just combat against what we see thrown in our faces to know there's a better way to be?
I can't. I'm trying to find the words. I'm trying to remember what my mother used to say about waiting to discipline a child. Like, you handle it right then and there. You do it right then and there. You don't wait till you get home. And it's a word for it. It's a phrase for it. It leaves me now. But for example, driving up next to the Bucket Boys, somebody shouts out something about what they would do with, what they wanted to do. And I clocked him right then and there. You don't talk to me like that. I am an elder. And one of the other young gentlemen said, yeah, you shouldn't be talking to her like that. He did. And it's just that simple. Right then and there. He thought it was okay. I told him it wasn't. And that he apologized, and we moved on. It's not waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is the moment. And there's a way to handle it. I love millennials. They are thebomb.com to me. And any opportunity that I get to work with a millennial, I'm right then and there. So and this is piggybacking off of what Pilar said, like, we just got to do it. I hear so many Gen Xers, baby boomers, just vilifying these millennials. We gave birth to them. These are our children. They were either in our classroom, they are nieces and nephews, they are our children. So how in the world can they be so rotten? And we gave birth to them. They are mad. They are angry, and we need that energy. But if they respect you, they will listen. Yes. They will listen and they will be guided, but they want to know that you are on your square too. It's we heard people tell us, "I don't do it as I do as I say," and we did that. They like, no. Come again, elder, come again. Yep. But we are elders. We're on the brinks. We're right there. We we're one birthday away from being the mothers of the church. As one of my girlfriends said.
I'm going to throw out some words to you both. Okay. And I want your immediate reaction to them as it relates to being a woman, a woman, as it relates to being Black. Acceptance. Go.
Pilar.
Africa.
What was the word again?
Acceptance.
Acceptance starts with me.
Okay. Permission.
Unapologetic.
God.
Okay. that was a whoa moment. Enough.
I am.
That I am.
You said that I am, Coco?
Yes, I was just, finishing off my sister.
I like that. Yes, I like that. Manifest.
Now.
All day. Every day.
Righteous.
God.
Heart.
Okay, I got to double back. Acceptance, permission, righteous, and I can't even remember the other word. Look, that's how you can tell the difference between generations. The fact that we are uplifting the I am, it starts with me, God. I'm hearing a lot of spiritual, holistic, mental wholeness. Are you all whole? Are you whole?
Yes, I'm whole. I'm whole. Yes. I am enough. All those things you just said. Yes.
So it seems to me for people that are not yet in the practice of affirming themselves or in the practice of meditation, it seems as though it's highly possible and plausible that if we just state love to ourselves, we might begin to heal and thus be able to pass that healing on to others. Coco, you feel the same?
Absolutely. And we have definitely got to start laughing. Like, really, like every day. If you can't find anything to laugh at, well, you definitely should be laughing at yourself. You definitely should be doing your, well, I don't want to be preachy. You should be embracing laughter. You should want to embrace your healing. But I think that's an easy way. If you are, unfamiliar with meditation, unfamiliar with getting quiet, you can laugh. And there's so many things to laugh at. And one thing that is so juicy and tender to laugh at is the smile and the laugh of a baby. You can go on YouTube and find some cute baby that is giggling and laughing to put a smile on your face. And yes, you can sit in that space. It is so easy. We have access to it. We have been told that we need to do all kinds of things to change who we are, but we haven't been told as a whole, as a collective, that you are worthy and you are enough. And the more that you repeat those words to yourself,
yes,
you will be the embodiment be the embodiment of that.
Yes.
Pilar, do you laugh daily?
Oh, all day.
All day. All day.
Since we've been on this broadcast, you ain't noticed.
I'm wondering, I never thought about I know a long time ago, Kevin Hart, he had a special, Laugh at My Pain. And it reminds me, Coco, you mentioned that some of your most powerful creations came from some of your deepest pain. Is that something we can do as a group of people? I know both of you all operate in restorative justice and peace circles. Is that something we can do collectively?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we can.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Pilar. I've been talking too much. I don't want to jump in. Go ahead.
No, never that.
Nobody's been talking too much. We don't even have enough time to get through everything that's on my mind to ask of you that I've always wanted to know. Go ahead, Pilar.
Yeah, I think it's, I'll say that I think it's most important that we do the individual internal work first, but many of us don't know where to begin with that, which is the power of the collective. And our people, it's very important that we come together and be able to share our truths and express ourselves and discuss those things that have so long we've been told are taboo, so that we can truly begin to honor who we are, whose we are, where we come from, so that we can fetch what we need, Sankofa style, and move on into the future. A big aspect of our hindrance, as far as being able to come together, I've heard it said that Black Americans are some of the most mocked people on the planet because we can't come together. And so I'm a big proponent of us being able to do just that, put our differences aside and understand our commonality, which oftentimes is through pain, our common sufferings, the struggle, as it's called. Have conversations, get a clue, figure it out, understand that no matter where we come from, we all have some type of common thread that binds us, right? And moving forward. So yeah, to answer your question, we can definitely do it collectively. We have to have, I also want to throw this out there, that we need powerful leaders to help guide us that way. One of my biggest complaints that I work daily to find solutions to is the fact that where are our leaders? You know, I'm sick of the corruption. I'm sick of the lie. I'm sick of so many of us having to succumb to the lie for what we consider gain, when what it does is cause our young people and our communities and neighborhoods to fall beneath the gun smoke of racism and hate. So I'm just looking forward to us cultivating more leaders, which is why I love working with our young people.
I'm going to get a little rudimentary because, yes, we're all speaking truths. We're sharing what needs to be done, what can be done, and what is being done. But, let's take it down a little bit, a notch. I don't know how to have conversations. I don't even know my neighbors.
Yeah.
And having grown up in a time when I was disciplined by my entire block and around each of the corners,
yeah.
I myself, because of the privacy that, I was raised under, out of fear, anxiety, and trauma, with being, followed. COINTELPRO, even having an FBI file myself all the way until I was 27 years old. Please walk me through at least 3 steps. How do you start a conversation if you yourself, and this is speaking the collective general, not you directly, if you don't speak to people, as you come and go, or if we're living in a world of crime and violence, you don't know what that greeting may or may not entail. Please just give me 1 to 3 tips on how to start collective conversation around these hard topics.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
No, that was
go deep.
No, that's real.
That's real. And that is I can't even, I think it would be a dishonest statement to say that I know how to do that for you. You walk that walk. That is you are the only individual in the US, in this world, Yvonne, that had a parent from those 2 organizations. And to grow up with that, I cannot tell you, I don't know how to do that. All I can give to you and share with you is what I do. And you take and piece off how you do with your history, how to do that. What I do, and it's, if I see something, if I experience something from a stranger when I'm out, because I like going outside it's like going to an amusement park, like I'm at the, and I just go to the park, play basketball, do things like that, is that if there's a time when our eyes meet, I say hello. If there's a time when there's an incident that happens that's funny or whatever, mention it. And you can, and don't even think about the fear. If you stay in the moment, it kind of keeps you out of the fear, out of the resistance. And what I have experienced in this period, when I do have interactions and conversations with people about something that's happening outside, whether it's something tragic, something that's edgy, is that there are breakthroughs. I haven't had a lot of resistance, but it has been, and it's been with people of color and also with Caucasian people, that there has been a place where we come together in understanding. And I think because of this time, there is space for that. But because of our history, we don't really do that kind of stuff. We don't engage in these kind of conversations. We don't do that. But now is the space and time to have those difficult conversations. And there is receptivity. And I just can just think about that. It's going to be more. It's going to be more, because we cannot live the way that we used to live. We cannot put people in boxes. We cannot do it anymore because we're not tolerating it. No one is tolerating this discrimination. All right, I'm gonna pass it off to Pilar because I'm talking too much.
No, I love you, Coco. Everything you just said. I mean, honestly, love, Yvonne. I don't. My story is that I embody love, period, and love will dictate to me the outcome of those interactions. And I'm always pleasantly surprised in some cases, and in some cases disappointed, but for the most part pleasantly surprised at the doors that love opens. Mm-hmm. Love, by me embodying love and loving myself first. I love myself. And when I say that, I mean, I love the God that exists in me and allows me to exist. And that energy is worth my humility, so that as I am inspired when I'm out, I don't know who I'm going to communicate or what experiences I'm going to have. I know I awake, I pray, I give thanks, I honor, and when I step outside of that door, love and if love finds me worthy, it shows me who I am to communicate with, or who I am, whose paths I would cross. There's this movie that I love. It's called Crash. And Crash really talks about the happenstance and quote unquote of these different people connecting through
the intersectionality of life.
Yes,
I love that movie.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Me too. And in those instances, that movie was a prime example of how we have to let love rule. As my baby Lenny Kravitz says, we have to let love lead, right? And that's that shameless plug. That was my
yeah, we're all sharing him.
We share him, boo.
He is shared with the universe. Yes.
Oh yeah,
all the power of girlfriends.
Right, okay. Exactly. Love.
So I want to put us on the spot as we begin to close. I invite us three to create on the spot. And Coco, I don't know what tool or instrument is near you to grab or tap on. I want us to dispel whatever it is that ails us on behalf of ourselves and community. And I want us to just come up with the blues, the news of the blues from the sisters telling their truth. Okay.
I find a few keys that may be in tune on this Mbira. Let me figure.
Okay. Will work. Just a few phrases. So for those that are tuning in, thank you. We're going to give you, our own version of existing in today's society on the spot. This is some off the cuff magic creativity happening before we bring Miss Smith back. And it's the art of being vulnerable too, because I don't do this. All right.
Spit.
All right. We're coming today just to give you the news that we bring forth love, and that is the truth. I'm going to pass it off to Madame Pilar, the Trinidadian queen. Tell us something. Take us far.
Hold on, my people. Hold on, my people. Sing it with me now.
Hold on, my people.
Hold on. And now I pass it to Sister Coco. Hold on now.
Hey now, the down.
Hold on, my people. Hold on and heal, my people. Hold on, my people.
And heal.
And
So you see, this is just how you have to be on a daily basis. I'm about to bring Miss Smith back in. I hope that you all have enjoyed this conversation as much as I have. I hope you see the silliness, the laughter, the beauty, and just being free with yourself, and the importance of engaging in conversations with others that you wouldn't normally have, no matter how long you've known them. All right, Miss Smith. Hi. Come on, hold on, my people. Welcome to the creative journey of manifesting racial healing. Unmute Miss Smith for us.
Yeah. Okay, I'm back.
There you go. Okay, you're back.
Thank you, ladies. Thanks, Yvonne. So as we close, I'd like to thank the state of Illinois, Healing Illinois Project, for the opportunity to bring such great conversations to our communities. I think we've had a vast array of discussions, and I think this is the best way. The spiritual manifestation is a great way to close out. So thank you to our sisters Coco and Pilar on sharing how to manifest racial healing. I want to give special thanks to our moderator, Yvonne Orr, for your important role in all of our discussions. For those of you who may have been with us through all of the discussions, Yvonne has also served as our producer, making sure that everything is on point. So we really appreciate you. Thank you for that. So on March 31st, we will have a virtual peace circle so that participants can share their feelings and personal ideas regarding racial healing in our communities. Information will be actually out later today, so we hope you can participate in that as well. So while the Healing Illinois Project is soon ending, because of the great response that we've had with all of our discussions, Cornerstone is committed to providing more learning opportunities with future chats. So please stay tuned for details on that. I want to say thank you to all of you for participating again, and please have a great day.
Have a great day, everyone. Our takeaway, hold on, my people. We got this.
We got this.